Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to the Ashes of Creation discussion round. The discussion round where we talk about everything that has to do with the Ashes of Creation from a community point of view. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope everybody's feeling safe. I hope everybody's healthy, and let's jump right into it. So, what's the first topic of the day? Yes, the first topic of the day, I already know that because we prepared. We were doing preparations today for the first time in almost 4 years. So Jeff left.
Yeah.
So, Faisal, how does that make you feel?
I mean, I didn't expect you to open up the topic with that instantly.
I mean, you're the Faisal. You're really emotional. I know you and Jeff. You had a special bond. But Faisal, how does that make you feel, Jeff leaving? Be honest.
It is pretty sad to see him leave. I'm not going to lie. But as long as he does what he does to make himself happy, I don't mind, honestly.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, it sucks. He was he saw what Steven was trying to make and was trying to create that. So it kind of sucked having someone who like understood the vision and was trying to make it a reality. But he also has been working on it for like 5.5 years, and I've done like a little bit of research on where he's going, and it's kind of understandable. They seem to have a lot of resources and be a pretty growing company. Yeah, and if his passion is VR, then it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let me ask you this because fuck it. A lot of people on Reddit, Discord, Facebook, wherever you want to go,
are speculating things. And
yeah, they're speculating things.
You're gonna have that no matter what. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Let me just finish. They're saying that now the project is in a really bad spot because Jeffrey Barnes has left.
It's never a good thing when a lead of anything, like you don't want a lead designer, you don't want a lead program, you don't want anyone in a lead position to leave. It's never been a good thing in a game, like to hear in terms of game news in any game for a while now. Like it's usually been a fairly bad sign for a game.
I mean, okay, no.
If it's
wait. We had leads
you're gonna
leave.
bring up you're gonna bring up what was his name?
We had leads leave before.
Lead artist. We had
lead
a lead
artist and
before.
lead, what was it, technical something?
Was it the one associated with the website?
I don't know. We had a lead technical supervisor something leave. But there was never like a big uproar, people worrying about it. So do you guys think
Jeff has a lot more
Matt Broom was the lead artist that left.
So do you guys think now, because Jeff has always been on the live streams and stuff, that people are more interactive with the whole subject?
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely it. People know who Jeff is. Matt Broom, you only really knew Matt if you read the Kickstarter or you went to the PAX events and met him.
He was on some of the live streams too, like some of the live streams.
Oh, the early ones, yeah.
Yeah, some of the earlier live streams. Well, not just that. Like when Steven would do like the going through the office thing, you saw some of the stuff he was working. Like the first look at Tolnar that we got, like when it was just shadows.
Yeah.
That was Matt Broom working on the shadows of the Tolnar, and like Matt Broom, like a lot of people blamed Matt for. I don't want to bring up the Matt. Like a lot of people blamed Matt for like the glowing effects on the apocalypse, on a lot of the apocalypse work, and
Okay.
so we've taken a different kind of like move to that stuff. But I don't want to bring up the whole Matt thing again. Like we're talking about Jeff leaving.
Well, do we even know? Like, is that just people being people?
It's probably just people being people.
Wanting to blame people.
We don't want to. Well, the game definitely has taken a artistic turn since Matt left. So Matt left, but I don't. Yeah.
Even if he left or him being there, they still changed. It's not a matter of like him leaving the studio has a big effect. Sure, it might have effect here or there, but still.
We're talking about Matt, or we're talking about Jeff?
We're talking.
I'm talking about in a whole, in general.
Okay.
what I want to know now, or the thing that I was getting at is, there are people now saying that this has such a big impact that Intrepid Studio and Ashes is in really big trouble. Do you guys think that is the case?
I think we'll know in a year.
In a year?
Pretty much.
Faisal, what do you think? Also in a year?
Yeah,
Stacker.
maybe a year and a half.
We'll
maybe?
see. I mean, I mean, he's hired so many people. And he has so many design. I mean, in the beginning, Bard was doing so much of the design work, and now they have so many different designers. Like his leaving sucks, but
They didn't-
it's hard to say if it's gonna like the impact it will be.
He didn't leave on bad terms.
No, he
either. Like,
didn't.
this was and like Steven did a goodbye. Like Steven's not even happy to see like because they've been working on the game for like a long time. Jeff's been there for a long time. Jeff, like everyone said, Jeff knew what the vision was and was helping Steven work on the vision for a really long time. And everything that we know about so far, like where Jeff's going and all that stuff, like it all checks out. Everything's good. It's not like
I mean,
creative different, like he said, creative differences or anything like that. Like everything's good.
so
But yeah, it's never good to have a lead leave.
let me
But we'll know.
let me add this. Also because Sonian just said something that goes with this as well. In my career, I witnessed a couple times where somebody in lead position left. I saw somebody leave on really bad terms. That did have an impact on the project. I also witnessed people leaving on really, really good terms, with them even working longer than they originally planned, to make sure it's a new transition between them leaving and the new person taking their job. So most of the time you have a transition period in those types of situations. I do not know if that is the case in this case with Jeff, but I would assume it might have been the case. Nevertheless, from everything that's been said and done, I don't think that this is going to have that much of an impact with the whole project. Yes, Jeff leaving sucks. Great guy, funny guy. Met him at Gamescom. I hope to see him again at Gamescom at some point. But as Xonian also said, there were enough people behind him working under him that I'm sure that whole gap that he left behind can be filled easily. Maybe not easily, but it can be filled without it having too much of an impact on the whole project.
I want to agree with that, but based off of the last 10, 20 years of gaming, I'm just saying this, like, just to play devil's advocate here, that having a lead leave, you could say like, oh, someone underneath him could take the spot fairly easily, but that's never been the case. That hasn't been the case in gaming for a long time. Like, yes, there are some games that but like usually when you hear, oh, lead designer left, lead programmer left, lead whatever left, it's usually the game usually has a very rocky road, or even just flat out fails.
Can you give an example?
I probably could.
Wasn't Anthem?
I feel like
Anthem was one too. Yeah, Anthem.
Okay, but okay.
Anthem already was like going in a bad direction.
Okay, to put that on like on one level, if you want to make comparisons between other projects and this case, other projects had pressure from publishers. All right.
Yeah, all right. So like that's true too. Like that's part of the whole publishing thing. I'm not saying that the Ashes is in a bad spot. I'm just saying like it's not been a good thing in gaming to hear that a lead is left, and we will. And like I said, we'll know. We'll know if they have a replacement ready for him probably pretty soon.
I mean,
if someone's gonna take the reins of where Jeff left off on, and we'll know where Ash's direction, like how impactful this will be, and if Ash's is going to be a like in a good spot in a year.
I mean, Bardic also said it just in chat. I think there's enough talent and drive at Intrepid to fill Jeff's shoes, right? Finding somebody like Jeff or even better to fill his position is not easy, right? Either they already have somebody, which I would prefer, or they're currently still looking for it. I would start to get worried if we do not hear that position has been filled within the next 4 to 5 months. Then I would really get worried. Because at the end of the day, you need somebody that can pretty much turn what Steven wants into reality. And Jeff was really good at that. He took Steven's ideas and, he put them in the game in a way that works.
I would decrease that number to 3 to 4.
3 to 4?
Yeah.
So,
that's when
I
you
mean,
should be
they do
getting
have
paid.
senior designers.
Yeah, they do.
Jeff was the lead designer, but they did have other senior design. At least one. I looked into the LinkedIn, and they have they now have a whole bunch of designers.
Yeah, I'm not saying getting worried about the game itself. I'm getting worried too for someone who fills Jeff's role, if that makes sense. Because usually if they take a period of time of 3 to 4 months and they still haven't replaced them, any new employee needs at least 3 months to actually get incorporated with the company, essentially see what they're at. As the companies usually call it, the probation period.
That's true.
Well,
We'll
I mean, I would have,
probably
unless they found someone that was just perfect, I'd
Yeah.
imagine one of the other senior designers would take the role, someone who's been working with Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think it would be that situation where they'd just be like, oh, this guy has worked on this for a long time. He'd be perfect for it. Unless he just resignated and he already understood the project. I don't think there'd be that
Yes.
issue.
I mean, no matter, excuse me, no matter how you look at it, it is a shitty situation, right? I wish Jeff best of luck, and I really hope he's happy and he can do what he wants to do. Just for us, the project and the community, I feel like it's gonna leave like a stain on the project till the shoes get filled, until it can be shown that they can replace Jeff either with somebody from within or with somebody new. Until then,
I don't know if I
so like
I mean,
immediately after this, we have NDA really. I'm not gonna say it's gonna leave a stain. We'll there's a bunch of a course of events that's gonna happen.
Let me
Okay.
finish. A stain in the sense of you're gonna have way more naysayers and way more doomsayers saying the project is now doomed because the lead game
I
designer.
feel like we just have the same ones saying the same shit.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
now
just
they
they're
have
talking
more.
again.
Yeah, but now they have more. They have more gasoline for the fire.
Leverage.
So
Yeah.
you
But
have
it's
that.
not like
you
there's
have
more.
that. You have that with delays. You have that with Apocalypse. I
Ooh,
do think
Apocalypse.
that we have a bunch of naysayers, and yes, Jeff leaving does have a naysaying thing. It's just with the game's gonna fail, blah 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 blah. But there's a course of events that's gonna happen here pretty soon that'll either put more fuel on the fire or put out a bunch of fires. We have the NDA releasing pretty soon. Alpha 1, it's gonna be viewable. We have a bunch of tests coming up, and depending on how those go, we have a bunch of large content creators are watching Ashes of Creation. There's the content creator programs up, so we have a lot of new people.
I want to talk about that.
We have if Alpha 1 goes well, hopefully we'll get combat passes, all that stuff has to go. The course of events that's gonna happen that will determine where Ashes goes within the next year or two, and within a year we're gonna know where Ashes stands. If Ashes is gonna be able to do what it wants to do or if it's not.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, to sum it up, Jeff, in case you ever watch this, sorry to see you go. You will be missed, and we wish you the best of luck. And
Yeah, I look forward to whatever project
Yes.
that Steven leaked. Well, he didn't leak.
I'm.
He hinted that they're announcing a new project because they have 2 VR games out right now, and apparently, Steven said they're about to announce a new one. So I'm kind of interested.
I'm not big on VR, but I might get one just to try it out. And Jeff, in case you're watching this, you still owe me a beer from Gamescom, so I'm not gonna forget about that. All right, next topic.
Next topic. So if you want to go straight into the live stream after this, we'd be talking about Siege. We'd be talking about
Let's
probably.
Stackerson pick.
All right.
Stackerson needs to pick.
Well, no, let's just go into the live stream.
The live stream, okay, live stream. Live stream. I don't know why I did that. I'm having a weird day. Don't judge me.
It was fun.
So
I
they
enjoyed it.
had they had Kevin on. Phil, they had Kevin on this time. We haven't seen Kevin in a while. It's good. It's good to see Kevin again.
Kevin, to me, Kevin is my new hero. You don't want to know why? Want to know why Kevin is my new hero? Because he looked like the programmer. He looked like he was like, why am I here? I need to go work. Why am I here? This is a waste of time. I need to be coding, not talking. I need to be coding.
He was like the DM for the last 24-hour live stream.
I think he enjoys being on every now and then.
Yeah.
Talking about his stuff.
I know, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did
he gives a lot of insight on stuff. And he gives a lot of insight on stuff
All
too.
right. Let's talk about Siege footage. Which one of you nerds was actually in it?
I was in both.
You were in both because you don't have a live.
We were in both. Faisal was in one.
Faisal was in one. All right. I tried to get in. The second one didn't get in. Okay,
The
so
only reason that I haven't played the second one is because they wrote a message and they said like, okay, testing is done for today, and I went to sleep afterwards.
Well, the second one was only for he wanted a specific number, and so he went to specific people and said last like you weren't in a you're not
we're
you're
not
not
special
in
enough.
Yeah, he went to specific people and said like, hey, I killed
PI. He wanted
what?
PI people. Okay, so let me.
No, it wasn't just PI. It wasn't just PI.
Okay. Let me make fun about PI. Anyways, since you were in it, what was your like experience from what we've seen? Like, what was your play experience?
Kind of want to make comparisons between this siege test and.
I don't ask you for
Apocalypse
comparisons.
Siege?
I need to ask you, was it fun? Did you like it? Was it bad? That's what I'm asking. You don't have to put comparisons to APOC.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was good to see. It was good to see. It's good to see. It's in a good spot, I think, for where the game is. It was fun.
Stackerson?
What he said. We had fun. We killed each other. We died to each other.
How was the performance?
Good times were had. Performance was pretty good.
Performance was good in terms of like everyone on the map. There were some like if you talk,
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think we can talk about there's like an annoying thing right now with like targeting. When there's a lot of people, like it's performing well, but it feels like the targeting's lag. So you can't. It's hard to target unless you go into like action mode. If you go into action mode, for some reason, it just fixes it. You can if you just click on someone, you can target them and then throw your ability before you get bursted down.
So it's still normal bugs. So, was there anything within the tests that you guys would say, like, popped out to you? Something you feel like you want to talk about
during the siege test?
At all? Like, yeah,
it's mostly just kind of a fun thing. I don't think we're supposed to take it like.
It's good to see that they have it where it is, but like it's a first pass at the it's a first pass at the siege test. It's good that they got so many people on the screen. It's good to see that like I want to say like it's good to I don't know, the siege weapons have been a thing and work like.
Let me ask you this. Because I kept reading stuff on Reddit and on the Discord. What's your guys' opinion on the whole kill the dragon thing?
I like it.
They're points that like the raid bosses that you go out and kill and you get points. I think it
But-
could possibly be a little bit disadvantaged. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when it's actually out there. But I like right now I feel like it's a little bit of a disadvantage to the game mode definitely favors the defenders over the attackers right now. But like in terms of where the dragons are located and
In
like,
what
getting there,
sense?
but
In what sense does it favor the defenders, in your opinion?
in terms of
I mean,
would-
the
So-
siege weapons, the defender siege weapon works really well. The
yeah,
ballista,
the attacker siege
it
weapons
just
don't work
shoots.
that great.
The attacker one,
Okay.
it like you can't really aim it at the moment. They don't have that set up.
And if
It's
you
gonna
smack into
happen,
it with a mount,
And then yeah, there's the bugginess of like if someone can easily mess it up. The spawns don't really update, so as an attacker, you're still like first spawning all the way back at your base camp.
oh yeah.
Defenders spawn in the castle where all the fighting's happening, so it's easier for them to reinforce. And I don't think that's
True.
intended for the future. I think we're supposed to be able to capture points, so we
And then
spawn
reduce the
closer, but
cooldown.
I'm not sure.
Right.
There's no cooldown on like spawns either. So like if you die, like so the point is to capture the throne room if you're a attacker, and so if you're a defender, literally all you do is like insta spawn and then just go back into the fucking throne room. Like there's like and it's like right behind the throne room too. So like you're not like you're almost there instantly.
All right. Let me.
I mean, a lot of things are really nice. I'm gonna talk with the pros and the cons. The
Yeah.
pros are like there's a huge number of players. The amount of lag and the bounce that we had was basically a lot less, essentially, from what normal testing is, which was surprising to me. You got to see ballistas and catapults working, but catapults has a little bit of work to do because, as people said, as the guy said, the aiming system doesn't work. You also have a bug with what's called capturing the actual points. Those don't work yet,
Which
and
is
a lot of messages. Every time someone just walks off or comes them on the point, there's an instant message that gets spammed over and over again because of the number of people that walks onto it. It was good to see how the gates actually work. Like you were able to what's it called?
talk
do
to the
damage to the
NPC.
gates
Oh,
and open
okay.
them. Yeah, I mean for the attackers against the defenders.
Gotcha.
What's it
I
called?
assume that might be changed though. I like for the because I mean we were able to just open the gates with our attacks. I assume they want us to use siege engines, and just in the state of siege engines, they're not forcing it, so they let us just break them down with our
Maybe?
sticks.
I don't know.
How it used to work is that you would capture the point and then like the gate was just open for like point capture used to work in the in the PI test for the this is under visual NDA but not verbal NDA, so I can talk about this. But like the PI siege test is like the point capture worked. And I kind of want to go back and watch those old videos because I don't think they've improved upon like the siege weapons that much from how they used to work to where they are now. Like I don't know. I think I'm not saying they're good, but I'm pretty sure like this is all like stuff we've already had in terms of like the siege weapons. But like the point capture used to work, which is kind of which is like they've probably had to redo a bunch of stuff. Like they've obviously had to redo a bunch of stuff. It's not the same map and like a lot of stuff's changed. But like
Another really cool pro to add is basically the dragon mechanic, where once you kill the dragon, it gets to mimic multiple of itself and attacks the stronghold. That was really cool.
that
I
was
expect
Fire
that to be
Dragon, and
there.
that wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think
supposed
it
to
was
happen.
killed. I think it was a bug because the fire
Yeah,
dragon
that was
Okay.
summoned those mirror images, and I think someone did something where dragon was summoning mirror images and then coming
Yeah,
to
it was
attack
just-
us at the castle.
Let me ask you
So
this.
you didn't see that. So
Okay.
people didn't see that. Let me preface that. People didn't see that in the video because that was part of the first test that wasn't recorded. That was part of the like more open test. The second one that you saw on stream was like it was 50v50. like a little bit more than 50 actually, but yeah, the numbers like people were like, I don't know the numbers for that one. It was several large guilds were invited to this, and they like it was 50v50, a little bit more, and that's what like you saw that one, and which was a little bit more. I don't want to say scripted. There was a bunch of stuff there, but like Steven wanted to do specific things, and show off the dragon. He wanted to show off like how siege worked. We still attacked the castle in full force. It wasn't like scripted, but like he did have a thing where like you saw in the video like, hey, attackers all come on one side and defenders all come on one side, and we'll just go into a wave of each other. That was another thing too. In the first test, that was when a bunch of shenanigans happened to where like there was way more people, and there was way more people on the screen. I think he said like there were 200 people there for that one, and the part Faisal was talking about is like, yeah, someone triggered the fire dragon, and the fire dragon just kept on spawning his flame images, and it kept on attacking the castle.
Let me ask you something. So from my point of view, I enjoyed my entire A1 or the testing experience so far, and I'm really looking forward to playing more in when the NDA drops and everything. But I'm also worried that too many people will see this as like a finished product.
You're gonna have that.
And you're gonna have that, no doubt. But what do you if you guys would have to guess, how would you think the public will react to seeing non-intrepid staff play and show that game off in the current state? If you would have to guess, if you have to make an educated guess based on what you tested, what you've seen firsthand, and how you know the internet works.
I think it depends on like if it was. It depends on the content creator. If it's someone that understands what an alpha is, they're gonna explain like, "Hey, this is looking good. This
Okay.
This is where things are supposed to be."
Not going
If it's
based on a content creator, just a plain video, plain live stream, no commentary, channel with
same thing. Same thing. I think it depends on like if you know where the game is, you're gonna understand it. It's gonna look good to you. If you think that this should be a finished product, it's gonna look bad to you.
All right.
Yeah.
If you know where it is, though, you say this is good.
What's your opinion?
It really depends on the content creator itself. Like, if they were understanding, he would explain it to the people who are watching him, and they would at least a majority of them, I would say, would be understanding as well.
Okay.
Like if Asmongold came and just saw this, for example, and he commented, yeah, it's reasonable that it's in this place, but I hate this, and that. Like I would say, like 50% of them would be understanding.
The other half would
40% would be like shitting on the bad stuff in the game, and 10% being chaotic. I guess I don't know.
Right, Staggers, and what about you?
Sorry. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to be one of those things. Well, like, I mean, that's the thing is only people who have Alpha 1 access will be playing. So I like to think that there's at least that understanding.
All right.
With
He's talking
whoever
about
would
like when
be streaming.
the NDA drops, everyone's yeah.
Yeah, when everyone's no, just with the person. I mean, if you're watching someone and they're just shitting on it, that's going to be a different experience than you just watching someone play it. I can't judge. I would lean towards people using it as ammo against the game, because there's definitely people who want the project to fail, and looking at any issue they can see in the Alpha 1, which they'll be able to see issues, they'll take that and use that as ammo. So that will happen. And there won't be a lot to really talk against that besides saying it's Alpha 1 at the moment.
Okay.
Also, to like go off of what you said too about like even no matter how much Steven said it, and like how much people keep saying it, like
it's always gonna
people are spending $500 to play the game instead of test the game. Like people are spending $500 to get into the alpha test because they want to play the game as soon as possible. That they're not like, oh,
I
I'm
had
gonna go into this and test it. I'm not
that
gonna.
exact conversation so much over the last week. Literally people coming in the Discord asking, so I want to play this right now. Should I buy the $500 pack?
No.
You have some idiots saying, oh yeah, go buy, go buy, you get this, and this. And I'm like, always like one of the first who says, hey, listen, you are not playing, you are helping test, right? You might have fun, or it might be the worst experience of your life. Maybe not the worst experience, but it's not going to be what you expect. Just be aware of that. So I just want to assume that everybody that has access now to Alpha 1 has that much brain to not bitch about what they're going to experience. What the rest of the public thinks, that's out of our control. There's probably going to be some people bitching about it and calling like, hey, this is shit, this is going to fail, they don't arrival, the usual stuff. So I just hope that everybody that makes content, everybody that has access, they are smart enough to just explain, listen, this is Alpha 1. This is so far away from being finished.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying is like you would think that because you would think that people that buy it and follow the game are going to know where the game is and how to react.
But there's so many people that just compulsively buy, and they're like, "What, $500 bucks? I'm gonna spend 500." It's like
I'm gonna spend $500 on a month-long.
$500.
I'm gonna spend $500 on a month-long alpha test because I want to play the game now.
I hate people.
People are silly at times.
Next topic.
So May live stream. The verbal NDA for Alpha 1 has been lifted. The new face of sorrow.
Oh, yes, yes. So, yes. Oh my god, let me find this. You know how often we bitched about this?
I'm still it looks good.
We are so
good.
fucking talking about this. How do
It looks good now, but I'm not happy with it.
Okay, it already looked good.
No, it looks so much better now. Dude, literally, I'm taking so...
We argued it just didn't look like...
I am taking credit for this. I'm taking...
I feel like shit, because I feel like we complain about things...
It doesn't matter.
I'm
taking credit. I'm taking so credit that it has... Fuck it, I'm taking credit for that.
I'm not happy with it still. It looks good. So look, the original one, I'm gonna preface this. The original one looked good. Like I'm not like I have my problems with it, but that's just my problems. It still looked good. People still liked it. This one looks beyond badass. It's a way bigger improvement on like the previous one. If you're a Overlord fan and you want like the Ein Zalgon kind of like chest with the rib cage and like you have the red crystal in the middle or like something like that, like this is the set for you. This is probably like hitting that note for you. That's checking that box. But I still just thought the suit was armor. I didn't think it was a lava skin. I didn't think it was gonna have these flashy effects with it. I didn't think it was gonna undead ribcage. I thought it was a suit of armor. I thought it was like a full set that had an undead theme to it, but was still armor. Like yeah, he has it on stream now. Like that's a rib cage, and there's nothing in that. Like in the helmet, but there's a skull in the helmet.
Listen, it looks more like what I originally thought it would be.
Yes, it's more like how a lot of people originally thought. It's not how I originally thought it was going to be. And like my concern, and the reason I'm so concerned with this, and the reason I'm saying like, oh, like this, is because a lot of these sets. I'm not saying a lot of these sets. A few of these sets are going down the path of being more and more effective, like more and more effects. And
I know. I mean, that's what Steven said when he watched remember when we bitched about the way it looks and Steven was in chat?
He said there was gonna be an effect pass on it.
Exactly.
It's gonna look better when there's effects.
Exactly. Let me find the.
This is more than adding effects. This is changing it and then adding effects. This is changing it a bit and then adding effects.
What face off?
But like that's my concern though. Is like I don't want cosmetics to be like the sword cosmetics to just be I'm buying a whole bunch of effects. You have those boots that were like plain leather boots that left a fire trail. I don't want the fire trail.
I
just
mean,
want-
listen. Wait, I have to pull this up. All right. So remember, wait, how do I do this now? Multitasking during. Remember how?
And the whole thing with,
Remember
like-
this? How we bitched about the fucking lava skin and all that stuff.
Okay, you say
Not
bitch.
everyone bitched.
We just
You-
said
We
not- not you-
bitched.
that it didn't
you
look.
and me.
The original
Yoni
concept
bitched.
looked like undead.
Exactly.
This one looks more like Lava Man.
Exactly. And now
Still
now
looked good.
it's going back to the undead thing.
Yes, now it's like full
Yes,
undead.
and now
It is
I am-
beautiful and glorious.
Now I am
I'm glad they
happy.
made the
I am
change, but I feel like an ass.
I
I'm still gonna
don't.
Look,
I don't.
I still want to know what like taking the helmet off. Like if I toggle helmet off, is it gonna be my face or is it gonna be a skull?
You're in PI, ass in PI. I don't fucking am I supposed to know that?
Why? If I ask him PI, I can't say on stream. So
I know, but then you're satisfied. No, the point that I want to make is the point that the reason why I'm bringing this up is, it's it's feedback. They're listening to what people say, and I'm taking
Yes.
I'm taking so credit for this. I don't care what everybody else says.
Shut the hell
I'm
up,
taking
basically.
so credit for this. Right? Because now it looks really dope. Now I'm really excited again that I bought this. I'm super excited that I bought this. I wasn't excited when I thought it would look like this.
and you thought it was gonna look like lava. Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, ah, crap. There's like $25 out of the window. Now I'm happy. Happy giant, sad giant. Happy, sad. Happy, sad. All right.
It looks badass, and I'm probably gonna wear it when launch and until I get like an actual set in game like that looks good. I'm probably gonna wear that with my demon skin or my angel skin like first couple of days of launch.
The thing that I have now, what effect is that on the axe, and where do I get it, and how do I get it?
The weapon doesn't come with the.
I know it
set.
doesn't
It's
come.
probably
That's
just an axe. It's probably just an axe in game.
Enchanted.
because the axe looks
Ultimate.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm gonna say is they listened, they adapted, improved. Simple and easy. It's way better than what we had. It's a lot greater now. If you
guys are
think it should
still-
be done any other way,
Yoni,
sure.
Yoni, you would react the same way if they would change the way the bears look.
No.
Yes, you would. If they would change the bears to the opposite of what you complained about, you would be excited.
No. All right. So the bear. I'm not gonna.
I'm
No.
not getting into the bears again.
It's not. It's not how you're explaining. No. My problem isn't with the bears themselves.
It's with the fucking skin. It's a reskin.
No. Well, for the lava
mean,
bear,
well,
yes.
what do
That's
you
my
mean? You
complaint.
did-
That's my complaint. That's my complaint for the lava bear. But like,
Yoni and his bears. I'm making a T-shirt about this. I'm selling that.
fucking bears.
All right, next topic. What do you guys want to talk about? Or what's left there to talk about?
The verbal NDA from Alpha 1 being lifted, switch from this is a theory crafty one. Switch from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5, and I put question mark behind it. This isn't a thing that's happening. This is a theory crafty thing. Don't I want to preface that when I'm bringing this up. They're nothing from Intrepid to say like they're making the move from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5.
The verbal NDA lifted. I mean, the verbal NDA lifted is great. There's nothing really to talk about. Like, we can share what we saw. We can share our opinions. Switch from
You were
UE.
very
Five,
against
switch
the
from
NDA
4 to
even
5.
lifting. Period.
Yeah, but the verbal thing, I feel like is more productive because people have to, listen to other people's experience. And from what I gather, from what I read so far, most people, at least on the Discord, most people know how to, explain what they were doing, expressing that it's, it's still in testing, yada yada yada.
Yes.
Right? While lifting the visual NDA would be a completely different horse.
I mean, with the assumed statistics of amount of people influxing to buy packages when they reopened them. I assume he did it to make people realize more of what they're getting into, as basically said, essentially.
True.
It is productive, but like, I don't like. What do you mean by productive? Because we gave them feedback regardless if the NDA has been lifted or not.
Yeah, but let me explain this. Verbal NDA means you're having a conversation with somebody,
Yes.
right? Lifting the visual NDA means a third party can watch you from afar having a conversation without knowing what you're talking about. And now you're talking about flowers and little kitties, but they're going based off your body language. They think you want to fucking murder the person you talk to. Does that make sense? There's too much without them having a direct conversation to the person that was playing or showing what's going on, right? If it's through Twitch streams, Twitter posts, YouTube videos, they can interpret what they're seeing probably in a wrong way. It's a difference between you know where I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think I started.
Like if somebody comes exactly if somebody comes on Discord and asks, hey, verbal NDA is lifted, can somebody tell me stuff? You're having a conversation, all right? Just because you're streaming or just because you're making a YouTube video talking about it does not mean the person that you're talking to is listening, and they have a chance or the opportunity to make up their own mind. So in my opinion, I would prefer the visual NDA to stick till beta, because at this the point where the final touches are being done, the last couple of bug fixes, polish, and all that stuff, and that would be the best possible situation for the game to be released to the public eye. For me, I still have a little bit of, it's not an issue, it's more like I know how gamers tick, right? And there's already people saying, yeah, this is bad, yada yada. Now with Jeff leaving, this is even worse. And now, I'm just a little bit worried, but from a good point of view, I'm worried about how the public will react. And yeah,
I'm a little worried too. Just with combat being in a state it's in. Like a lot of that was pretty common in the videos I heard, is people having some criticisms of the combat. And if they keep on they've talked about moving towards a new system, but if we don't see that new combat by the time the visual NDA lifts, people are going to use that against the game.
That's what a lot of people like. A lot of people that have access to Alpha 1 are waiting until the NDA NDA release so they can record their first impressions for like how the combat feels and stuff like that.
That's so wrong.
I want to make this very clear. Like the combat that we have right now, I would say the combat we have right now has been like the same combat that we've had for a while now in terms of testing. Like you're watching the videos and like you're hearing us talk about it now because the verbal NDA has been lifted. You're seeing the videos more and more. Like the combat is not anywhere in any way indicative of like how they want their hybrid combat to be. They haven't even made their first combat pass. This is still very much like
it's a placeholder combat system.
It's very placeholder. It's very it's not even first pass. It is placeholder.
It's a placeholder, and try explain. And it's another thing. Everybody that I talk to, a lot of people that I talk to now with A1 and everybody, like people are reaching out having questions because I made the video about me testing since A0, which for my surprise is over 2,000 views, which for me is a lot. Is a lot, right? People are reaching out asking me, hey, how is this compared to Alpha 0? And I have to like explain them like the steps we took to get here, and they then now assume that this is close to the final product, and then I have to go back and explain to them, no, it's not. This is placeholder. Please don't expect Alpha 1 to have the finished product. And that's why I'm like, there should be a big sign on your screen when you play Alpha 1 and a list of stuff that is not finished. That never goes away.
That's kind of the trick right now, though, is like we don't know like what they're thinking all the time, because I mean, even when you asked us that castle siege problem question, I feel like the only thing we really should have been commenting on was just like it like there was a lot of people fighting a lot of people, and it worked pretty well. But we kind of like went off on a trail and started commenting about the siege engines and all this other stuff, because like
the commenting and the conversation that I'm following,
that stuff isn't done.
Exactly.
No, like. There's so much that's not done that it's like tricky to talk about the game without
exactly.
like...
And that's where my issue is. Also, is I watch so many people on the Discord talking about stuff from even this past siege video in a manner where you think they're talking about something that is finished. So yes, I'm still worried about releasing the NDA that early. Nothing I can do about it, but you know, I'm probably gonna stream Alpha 1 as much as possible and just try to spam content left and right. Just FYI, I'm warning you, during Alpha 1, we're probably gonna do one of these every week. Just to spam content, telling people this is Alpha 1, this is testing.
I'm down.
All right.
Although I
don't care.
Maybe be late for the first week.
I don't care. If you want to go on vacation with your wife, cancel that vacation. Okay, next topic. We have how much more time do we have? We have we already wait.
I have like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we got like
we've been going for an hour and 12. Well, no, never mind. You started the
yeah, we got like 15
while.
more minutes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, 13 really.
All right, okay. Wait, let me fun question real quick. Raise your hand if you think you will make it into the content creator program.
I think I'll make it into the content.
For it, so no.
Yeah, if you raise your hand if you think you will make it into the content creator program.
I'm
gonna be super optimistic.
I signed up for it. I don't and I plan on making content for Ashes of Creation, but I don't like make regular content right now. Like I've done the AOC Jeopardy streams.
Yeah.
I'm on this. I've been on a couple other podcasts. Basil's been on
Basil is everywhere.
Basil's everywhere.
I mean, just because of that, Basil should be accepted into the content creator program. He's just on everybody's content. He should just be in everybody's. He'd just be a content creator. I want to say a couple of things regarding the content creator program. We talked about this, I think, last time. I think it's kind of cool. They're doing a boot camp. I looked into the job description of what they're hiring for. It's really what I did in my old job. So whoever does it, you're gonna have a lot of fun. He says sarcastically. Because I think it's gonna be a lot of work. Because like they said themselves, a lot of people have applied. So I'm looking really forward into like seeing who gets in, who doesn't, and all that jazz. Should be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I just am interested to see who they think is good match for them. And
exactly.
I still plan on making. I got like my thing about not making it into the content creator program right now is like I don't make enough Ash. I don't make Ashes of Creation content like right now, so that's why they wouldn't pick me. Even if they never get in, even after I start making content, I'd still make content.
Yeah.
So it's not like.
I mean, they use the term brand ambassador. So.
Yeah.
All right.
They want people who can like help communicate their stuff with everyone.
I'm really good at communicating emotions. I'm really good with emotions. Everything else, I'm not that good. They won White Knights. I'm not gonna comment on that. Next topic. Topic.
I don't. Okay.
I'm gonna make a video, a really depressing video. If I don't get in, it will be really depressing. A lot of people will cry.
Don't make a depression video.
I always make depression video. I haven't made
chill.
Dude, I haven't made a depression video in like 3.
Take a chill pill.
I haven't made a depression video in like 3 years. Depression videos, dude. The last depression video is still my most watched video.
I mean, I'm not gonna get in.
I mean, you should get in. You're like Mr. Positive on
I
this
never applied
podcast.
though, so I can't get
Wait,
in.
what do you mean you never applied? I told you to apply.
I didn't actually apply.
You need to
I'm
apply.
not gonna apply unless I actually start making content.
Well, dude, you're sitting on here for like what, the past 2-3
Yeah.
years? That's content.
So I don't know if they would
I
accept
know,
them
but
because of
I
that.
wanna
Because
actually have,
when
like, my
they
own channel.
ask, when they ask you to link the channel, and because we're like when we do that, we're linking your channel. Like I linked my channels and stuff like that, and I put your stuff at the bottom. I link other places that your stuff is, your stuff is, and I link like all the stuff I've done and been on. Like I linked your channel because I'm on
I mean,
the
I
discussion around so
see
much.
you guys as co-hosts and co-creators of this podcast, always have been, so I cannot take all the credit for it. Anyways, next topic.
So we taken care of all the newsy topics.
All the newsy topics.
Theorycraft topics switch from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. People were already talking about that in the chat earlier. MMO Holy Trinity and open world PvP games. Community topic, AOC races and how they interact with other races. Kind of an RP topic. I could also probably go on the forums and find like 20 other topics to fucking talk about too.
I mean, Stackerson is our IT guy. If anybody needs to talk about this, it's him.
But we don't know. I mean, we don't know what they're using and what they're not for. Yeah, it's completely like pointless to talk about the Unreal 5. Yeah, Unreal 5 looks like it has cool stuff, but we don't know how that actually meshes with what they're using from Unreal 4.
If they switch from Unreal 5 to Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, you'd be looking at a 4 to 5 year delay.
Whoa, what makes you think that?
I don't know if we know that because I think they've been trying to make it easier and easier to transition these things, but it's just like what from Unreal 5 can they actually use in their game?
You'd probably have to rewrite most of the back end stuff, like most of the code and back end stuff that they've been working on.
Well, if you want to like leverage
I mean,
it,
yeah.
Bartek already said this. Like Unreal Engine is pretty new, so like they're bound to run into problems naturally.
So, like, yeah, without playing with the engines, it's silly to even. I mean, they even demoed some cool stuff, but we don't know how that stuff interacts over a network. So it's like, yeah, I can't really talk about it.
I mean, I have no idea when it comes to Unreal 5, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you the differences or the benefits of a Switch. That's all Stackerson's domain.
I
don't know either, because I don't know their system. I
I
also don't know Unreal 5 system.
So why are we
a
talking
bachelor's
about
degree
this?
in video game design, and thank you very much.
All right, other topic. What's the other one? The last one?
Well, there's two more. There's MMORPG Holy Trinity and open world PvP and AOC races and how they interact with each other.
I kind of want to talk about the Holy Trinity one in open PvP, but at the same time, that's one that I think is tricky to talk about. Just because, I mean, they've been kind of... There's the issue of the fire hose healer, which is an issue in open PvP, or at least some people see it as an issue. Just healers, they have to heal so much for raid content that in open PvP it's hard to balance them. And then, so like going through that, which...
You have that. You have tanks, but the tanks have been falling out. Like,
well, tanks haven't like, I mean, yeah, the issue is making tanks more relevant in open PvP, which I don't
Is
think
that really that big of an issue?
tanks have no, like, you play a tank in open world PvP and you're pretty much doing nothing. Like, you're doing nothing. Like, you have no purpose in open world PvP. If you're not a damage dealer, like chances are, if you're not a damage dealer in open world PvP, like large scale open world PvP, like
But that's also tricky because it also a lot of it comes down to healers, because it's like a race between the healers and the damage dealers who can out DPS who, and tanks with their niche of CC and just being able to tank damage.
there's a very large.
They're not really able to compete in that
Well,
race.
you don't have any like aggro mechanics for a tank either. Like most games don't have like an aggro mechanic for players. That it's all for raid stuff. So like you're not forcing players to attack you. You're just there as an extra body. That
Yeah,
if
but
people
didn't
focus on
Steven
attacking.
didn't Steven say that tanks, their job is damage negation and forcing the other players to attack the tanks first? To make
Yeah,
yeah, they have
so,
wait, to make an anime reference, so you dudes can understand what I mean.
You're gonna go log Horizon on us.
Yeah,
Exactly,
you're gonna
that
give a
one with
reference
where the
Log
guy
Horizon.
does the thing where everybody then attacks him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
everyone
like
gets a debuff.
he doesn't force everyone to attack, but like it gives him a buff, which we also had
You get
something
a
like that
debuff
in
if you don't attack.
we also had something like that in I think it was SOTOR, where or maybe it was just the guard mechanic where a tank could guard something, and they took 20% less damage.
I'm more so the reason this is a topic and the reason I'm bringing it up is more so like the this is a game of so like right now we're playing a game of Steven Says because we haven't seen
No,
it
the
in terms
whole
of, like what they can
till
do.
release, it's a game of Steven Says. And Steven
So,
says he wants to
like,
have tanks be a viable option in
really
PvP.
what we could draw from is what we've seen in other games. Not like Stegerson said, like SOTOR has that kind of stuff, but most games, large scale open world PvP, tanks and healers don't really like you have if you can out heal the damage, there's a problem. There's a bit of a balancing issue there. Like a lot, you can out heal most of the damage.
In Heroes of the Storm.
Okay, I wanted to because there is a game where the Lancer. Okay, Terra. In Terra, the Lancer, the tank class, has a huge role in open PvP because of both its block mechanic as well as its the collision, because you can't just run through a Lancer and start attacking the people behind him. Not only that, Lancers are can be very punishing to begin with. They can stun the shit out of you, and they can do decent damage themselves. So I don't know. It's one of those things that's hard to talk about without knowing. But I think collision.
Here's how I see this. Wait, were you finished or Stegerson?
Still on myself. I was just gonna say I think collision will play a role for tanks. Beyond that, it's gonna be just kind of like feeling it out and seeing like where we can improve them and where we can't. You're not gonna be able to just run past a tank.
So
yeah.
We have here's why I think tanks will be fucking badass in open world PvP and large scale PvP. Open world PvP 1-on-1. I don't know. I can only comment on that to some degree. First up, like Stegerson says, the whole physics, the whole like you cannot just run through people. You have to go around them. So tanks will be a really big key for positioning your raid or fighting other guilds or whatever. Also, tanks will be a badass in CC. Steven said as much. Tanks will have a lot of CC, and I can already see there being skills like in World of Warcraft or in Guild Wars 2, where the Necromancer of the Warlock has the fear effect, where people like walk away in fear from you. The tank has the ability where people walk towards him, like a shout or whatever. And third, you have the whole rock paper scissors system. So even if tanks are not super powerful DPS wise or cannot like solo stuff by themselves or whatever, they will be a counter to something. Those three aspects, I'm not worried about tanks being viable in PvP, open world PvP. How they're being used and how players will use them, that's a different question.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's part of what we want to talk about, though, is like how I feel like the role is to create like the battle lines. Like the battle lines in a fight should be created by the tanks or the tankier player.
That's why I want to preface this for people that have played Alpha 1 or have watched Alpha 1 footage. Like the tank in the current Alpha 1 testing, like the pre-Alpha 1 testing, current testing is extremely good and extremely powerful. but it's not what we're talking. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about like launch tank. Or we're talking about like release tank kind of thing. Kind of going for that.
I
Like,
mean,
what is the tank supposed to do? How do they make it fulfill that fantasy?
Like right now, I think tank fills a couple hats, and like there's a lot of different like
Well, I think
balancing's
it
not
has
there.
a lot of the. I think it has a lot of the other melee DPS abilities currently in its
Yeah.
kit, though. So it has like the fighter and rogue abilities, or what will become fighter and rogue ability.
I mean, I did any of you play Elion in the closed beta?
Yes.
Right.
Nope.
Warlord, super fucking useful in PvP. Super fucking useful. Hard to fucking kill. So I don't see an issue with Intrepid Studio being able to turn the tank into something useful for PvP, or make it work in PvP.
Did it still play the role of a tank, or did it play the role of a damage dealer? Like is it still playing its role, or is it filling another hat after that? At that point,
I mean, in the clan wars in Elion, you had tanks, warlords singly keep 1 point, right? In the point matches, where you have to control 1 points, you had tanks strictly stay on 1 point because they were just able to just survive and just deal and just CC people, right?
So are they just able? They're like damage dealers that you just can't kill.
Kinda, and they have a shit ton of CC. And that's what I with the whole aspect of player collision, and I do to go on what Stackerson just said earlier, them drawing the battle lines. I because normally in most MMORPGs you can just run through your enemy, right? You run through them, you run to the back line, you're trying to get to the healers, yada yada. I don't think this will be the case in Ashes, the whole player collision stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, it's also like player collision. It's bad in two ways. Not only is it suck because you can't run through people, it then makes it even worse if you're trying to run back. Because if you try
Exactly.
to run into your opponent's battle lines, and like even if you get past the tank, then if you're trying to run back, you're just like double screwed.
Exactly.
I'm reminded of you said player collision, and like I was reminded of this test where we were all trying to get to the fucking like during the first siege test we were all trying to get to the armor, and everyone was crowding on them, and no one could get in, no one could get out.
I mean, but
yeah, I mean it's something that they can work on.
But that's also something they are using to diminish zerging. Have you ever tried zerging with player collision?
Oof.
Doesn't fucking work. Okay, it works, but it's a pain in the ass to
It's
control.
harder though. You
It's
can't
harder.
just like run through all your friends.
You can like player
People can get in
collision
your way.
has a lot. Player collision has ups and downs. Like this is like gameplay wise, like
Gameplay wise, immersion wise, player collision is king.
there's also a so.
Yeah, try
people
zerg.
people abuse player collision. People abuse player collision though, because
course.
they'll harass people like in a game that has player collision that's open world and has resource like where resources are like people will block people out. People will block people like, oh, you can't, like I'm just gonna fucking body block you. Like player collision, it has ups and downs.
But we also have like
a
we
lot
can
of
also
those,
attack anyone though.
Yeah, we can
So
attack
it's
anyone
like
in this.
you're blocking me from some resources. Smack. Okay.
But then, like, say someone's trying to force you to go red. They just don't attack you.
But you don't have to go red. You can push them out of the way with.
Exactly.
They still harass you and stuff.
You don't have to kill them.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm saying that a lot
of
of the problems with player collision are player-made problems.
I mean, you have that in every game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like people haven't done stuff like park mammoths on top of
exactly
vendors and WoW and be like, oh well, try to click on this fucker now.
Anybody got anything?
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. Is like you try to go to a vendor and someone's just body blocking you. If you attack them inside a node.
Well, no, I'm just saying people can also do that without player collision. It's when they take like a large mount or something and park it on.
Exactly, I see
and
that
a
in
lot
World
of
of
the
Warcraft all the
solutions you
time.
can think of for that situation, I think you can think of for.
Oh,
a player collision solution.
I'm just looking
Sure.
at the stream and I saw Steven. I don't know why I didn't bring this up earlier, but like Steven was showing off the fucking elf armor. I think it looked fucking great.
Did
Oh
you-
yeah, the iron bark armor from is that like
Yeah.
2 years ago?
Oh, you mean the golden trash
year-
can? Oh yeah, elf armor normally looks like that. Yeah, true.
Okay, whatever. I thought it looked cool.
He doesn't like elf
Okay,
armor.
let me put it. It's elf armor. It's elf
when
armor.
the orcs come out, I want
Dude,
everybody to trash BCG.
I don't give a shit. They can bring out out orcs. I will literally build a shrine right behind me with all the orcs and everything, like orc pictures and everything. Because it's
reminds
been a while since we've seen orc stuff. Like elf is always like, oh look at this elf armor. Oh, this is so fancy.
We've been having conversations about that on the forums, though, about some people feeling like the elves and the dwarves, at least, aren't fulfilling the fantasies that some people.
I don't give a shit about fantasies. From my point of view,
just like they're not like elves are just humans with pointy ears.
yes, I don't care about.
Dwarves are not stocky enough.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. Elves, they can go suck it. Never been a fan of elves. Never will be an elf. So they're just for me like stuck up little brats that are super entitled. Never met an elf player that I liked. Probably never will. Just sorry, been like that since EverQuest. When it comes to the dwarves, when it comes to the dwarves and ashes, I'm still sticking with my whole opinion that they look more like gnomes or little kids. And that's not maybe a bad thing. I'm just saying, from my point of view, my taste, they look like gnomes or little kids. But that's only because I'm used to Warhammer and World of Warcraft dwarves. So that's like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was intentional with Arcage, at least with the females.
I wouldn't mind them being a little bit more like the Warhammer dwarves, because those are like dwarfs for me.
Make them have a stomach.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The belly and the beard and
I think a lot of it's missing from the legs. I feel like the legs are almost a little too
Thin?
small.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe a little
literally
bulkier.
lower body. It's literally lower body.
Yeah, like the top is fine. It's like the lower body is like
The
a little too
shoulder- the
small. And then
shoulders
plus, like
and-
right now, they need to work on the animations. The leg,
Yeah.
they have like freaking duck feet going or something like that.
Yeah. But anyways, just a quick reminder for those who are watching or still watching. Every time when we're done with this podcast, we jump onto the Ash of Creation Discord to talk there for like an hour or so, maybe a little bit less. Just our attempt to revive the Discord and the voice section of the Discord, because it used to be a lot more. So just want to remind everybody, as soon as we're done here, we will be jumping over the Discord and talk more about Ashes. Does anybody have anything else they want to talk about? No.
I don't think so.
Then I would say we're done for today. We will be back in 2 weeks. Till then, everybody, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and we will see you on the Ash of Creation Community Discord. Peace.
Peace.
Wee.
Yeah.